Welcome back to the channel. This is Gillis TV here, folks, and welcome in. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If MLB off-season trades, news, rumors, mid-season trades, live stream of the MLB, NHL is your thing, NASCAR, we got it all here on the channel. We're trying to hit that 5,000 goal by the end of January. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And for everyone that's been with the channel over the past week, thank you guys so much for your support. Now let's get into it. As we had a signing today, the Pittsburgh Pirates have agreed to a one-year deal with veteran first baseman Carlos Santana pending a physical, according to Jeff Passan of ESPN. It'll pay the Octagon client $6.725 million, as that is from John Heyman of the New York Post. It's the largest guarantee the Pirates have given to a free agent since inking Daniel Hudson to a 2-year, $11 million deal before the 2017 season. It is an intriguing move for the Pirates as they look to slowly work their way back to contention after a lengthy rebuild. Santana is the third first base slash DH option they have acquired this offseason following their trade for G-Man Troy and claim of Lewin Diaz. Santana, 36, spent last season with the Royals and Mariners, slashing a joint .202 average with 19 home runs over 506 plate appearances. While the numbers certainly don't leap off the page, Santana did post the lowest BAPIP of his career and hasn't seen much shift in his walk or strikeout rates. Santana could also be one of the biggest benefactors of the shift restriction that'll come into play next season, as no one faced a shift more than he did at 98.3% of the time. It'll be the fifth major league team Santana has suited up for. He debuted back in 2010 with the Cleveland now Guardians, the first of 8 seasons he initially spent with the franchise. Santana regularly posted 20-plus home run totals, combining power with strong on-base skills. His best year was 2013 when Santana finished 15th in AL MVP voting on the back end of a 268 average. Santana inked a 3-year, $60 million deal with the Phillies prior to the 2018 season, but after just a year, Cleveland required him via a 10-day stint in Seattle. His return to Cleveland proved successful as Santana hit 34 home runs, won the Silver Slugger, and earned his first trip to the MLB All-Star Game. That was his last dominant campaign, though, and his final year in Cleveland in 2020. And with the following season in Kansas City and Seattle, have brought about WRC plus marks of 99, 82, and 102. While his average has taken a huge dip in recent years, he continues to walk at a strong rate and post solid power numbers. That's certainly what the Bucks will be hoping for, but it won't take much for them to improve their first base output in 2023. Pittsburgh's first baseman combined for a minus 3.0 FWAR in 2022, so the addition of Troy and Santana addresses that. Santana was worth 3 outs above average at first in 2022, while G-Man was worth 2, and the pair will likely split time there and DH in 2023. G-Man's struggles against left-handed pitching could mean that he sits in those matchups while Santana mans first, and Pittsburgh could give another hitter the DH spot in that game. Beyond his production at the plate, Santana will be a valuable veteran presence in a young clubhouse. The Pirates have brought through a number of prospects they hope will form the foundation of their next contending team in recent years, including Ke'Bryan Hayes, O'Neal Cruz, and Ronzi Contreras. There's plenty of young talent there, with more expected to crack the big leagues in 2023, so having a veteran mentor in Santana around can only help the Bucks' young core. The $6.725 million guaranteed is modest by MLB standards, but significantly for the Pittsburgh Pirates, it makes Santana the third highest paid Pirate for 2023, behind Ke'Bryan Hayes and Brian Reynolds, and takes their projected 2023 payroll to $54 million per roster resource. That falls about $5 million shy of their 2022 mark, and it will be interesting to see where the final figure lands for next season. A veteran starter on a similar deal to Jose Quintana's last season seems likely, while the team could do a low-cost catcher to bridge the gap until prospects Endy Rodriguez and Henry Davis are ready to debut. So like it said in that article, Santana's veteran. He can help with the young guys, but what helps him is he's a switch hitter. If they like a certain matchup with him, it doesn't matter what side of the plate it's from. He can do both. He's a pretty good first baseman as well, and I am interested to see how him and G-Man Choi work this with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I'm excited to see what he can do there. Like it said, his numbers are down, which we'll get to in a minute, but it's everything else. It's the same as hockey when you talk about players. It's all the extra additional numbers that fans don't take into consideration. The, you know, defensive stops for runs, if that's negative or positive. What's the outs above replacement? All that stuff. All the defensive numbers are what teams sign. And you might go, well, this is a really bad signing by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yes, if you look at the base numbers of a 202 average, who hit 19 home runs, 60 RBIs last year with no stolen bases and 431 at bats. Okay, but once you get into the in-depth numbers, that is where you see why teams signed a guy. It could be his defensive ability, stopping runs. How many runs or outs per game does this guy usually get playing first base? It's all those extra beneficial numbers that help with a team's process and helps the team in the end game. He's struggling offensively, but he's still putting up 19, 18 plus home runs a season with 60 RBIs. I'm not going to complain. You add G-Man Choi into that, they're both probably popping off at least 35 home runs for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pittsburgh Pirates this year, and that is solid. But let me know what you guys think about this signing by the Pittsburgh Pirates, as I almost said Penguins again. And like I say, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as there's 3 of us that kind of hop on here and do anything sports really. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Gillis TV here on Clemox. I'll catch you on the next one.